Okay, it's time for game 3 of the Fumble season in Sorble. Christmas Deep Roots after a narrow loss and then a narrow win. Let's see how game 3 takes us. Not so many inducements this time, so we've got Willow instead of Deep Root and Bertha. Deep Root and Bertha did pretty well, but this time we got Willow, the little sister to the big guys. Who's quite fun. So Willow, for those who aren't aware, has got Strength 4, Sidestep, Dauntless, and Thick Skull. But yeah, Strength 4 is quite cool, but no block or anything. So a little bit of a risky one, but no more risky than playing Halflings in general. Chaos Pact this time on the other side. We've got Minotaur and Ogre, no Troll. We've got this fancy Dark Elf with Agility 5 and block, but nothing else very much going on there. So quite a new team, so that's why a lot fewer inducements, even though my team is still down at sort of 800 TV. So I kicked off. What did I take? I took a couple of rerolls using the Chef. So the Chef's pretty much an auto buy for Halflings, I think, before star players and things, because it's really their main thing is reroll denial. So the Minotaur picking on a Halfling straight away, but only a stun there, it's pretty good. And I've got a badly hurt Halfling from the line, so I'll sort of take that as a, so one Halfling off the pitch. Had to use a reroll straight away on the Tree Man there to avoid the take route. So the Willow blitz was made more risky, but did fantastically well and took out the Minotaur, who the Apo worked on. So that was a really brilliant first blitz from Willow. So not missing Deep Root at all, I'm afraid to say. And so he starts to pick on my guys, but nothing very much happening, not much progress up the pitch, and then a couple of half dices which he gets away with. Fair enough. So, and then another hit. So minus strength on that guy there. So some serious pain being dished out by the Halflings, and they're actually quite good at this. A 2 dice block from a Halfling is as good as a 2 dice block from anyone else. A 2 dice block from a tree is certainly painful. 3 dice block from a tree is even worse. So I'm quite pleased with this situation down here. I've got a couple of players off the pitch already, and he's quite far back. These 3 guys aren't going to be doing very much, and yeah, things are looking pretty rosy with a certain amount of smashing going on. And then the Ogre leaves the pitch as well, so the Ogre gets niggled off the pitch, and so he's got no big guys left, and things are looking pretty good. Let's see if he can do anything to salvage this situation. So it takes out a Halfling, and this sort of builds a cage over there. But really, and then what did I do? Did I foul? No, he stunned it. Oh yeah, he double skulled and managed to stun himself. So I've got him trapped sort of over on this side really, and so just trying to consolidate the position. So a bit dodging out, which worked, which is pretty cool. And then I tried to, as a last thing for the turn, just try to throw a Halfling at the cage to see if any damage could be done there, but failed the throw. No biggie. But he managed to land, so that was fine. So he only had 1 blitz on that turn and didn't manage to cause any damage. But I think my next turn wasn't the best. So he managed a few dodges away. But what I'm doing here, unfortunately, I think. I'm about to make an error, I think, because I'm going to leave this Skaven free, which isn't what I really meant to do, because I was going to foul him, but because I was going to sort of foul him and mark him at the same time. So basically use a Halfling to foul him, and if he didn't get sent off, mark him. If he hurt him, then good news. But it did mean that I concentrated too much, I think, with my players up here. So I was concentrating on getting this guy off the pitch, and so. Yeah, so that worked, but it meant that I had these 4 Halflings all over there, and though I was players up, I was still 2 players out, so I only had 9 players myself. So not really enough to cover, so I mean that he could probably escape if he wanted to. So yeah, so I rolled them both down there, which caused the end of my turn before I was able to foul and or mark the Skaven, which wasn't ideal. He still got his Agility 5 Dark Elf on the ball. Quite a critical dodge there. If that dodge had failed, then Willow could have come through and smacked the Dark Elf to the end of next week. But that worked, and so he's caging up, but he's still in his own half. But at this stage, I think, basically if that powered had worked, then that would have been better because I'd have been able to get a few more of these halflings over probably. But yeah, this wasn't ideal at this stage. And then yeah, I had to use the reroll to root, so didn't manage the throw. And basically not enough players really to mark up, so not an ideal situation. And then yeah, managed to kill myself. Now that was a bit of a disaster at this stage. I didn't quite realise what had happened there, in that he managed to skull himself, and that was my blodger, who I hadn't marked, I don't think, or maybe I had, but I certainly should have used the Apo there, because a blodging halfling is a thing of beauty, whereas a minor strength blodging halfling is less good. So yeah, a bit of a blow there. So I haven't decided what to do with Skirly yet, whether to cut or keep, because actually, you know, Blodger's strength 1 is actually all right, relatively speaking. So I might keep Skirly just for, you know, the lols as well. I don't really like cutting players either. So again, another throw there. This isn't looking particularly good anymore, because he's managed to sort of outrun me out and get over here, and I'm a little bit short of players. And I got the rooted tree over there. But I do manage to get the tree next to the ball carrier, which is always a nice thing. Yeah. So just a quick foul to finish off the turn. So he comes up and yeah, he used a reroll on that dodge, which meant he didn't have a reroll on this dodge. Hurrah! And so the Dark Elf went down on a 2+. Agility 5, no good when dodging. Still roll at 1 and you fail. So, yeah, pretty good. My turn 7. I just need to consolidate at this stage. Tree roots, but that's not the end of the world, so I didn't bother re-rolling that one, because basically I was going to save the re-roll for the throw in a minute, assuming I could get the ball. Another KO there as a bonus. It's got the ball. Right, now, so the plan is sort of in Dodge We Trust, really, because his only blocker is down here, and so he needed a power to take this halfling down. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I would have put a player in to negate the tackle zone of the tree, and then blitzed the ball carrier away from the tree man, because basically blitzing from there, if they didn't get the power, which he didn't, it meant that he was still next to the tree, so he could have, if he blitzed away from the tree, there was no way I could have done the throw teammate. It was a little tactical thing there. So yeah, so all he's doing now is making it more difficult for the tree man to do the throw teammate. So that makes it a 3+. So I rolled a 2, re-rolled, and a 1. So sadly the throw teammate didn't work. That would have been a brilliant end to the first half. But was not to be. So nothing very much happens at the end, I don't think. Right, now it's 9 against 8, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9 against 8, which is looking pretty good. I'm receiving. All I've got to do is place relatively sensibly. Halflings are okay at caging, and they've got Willow to help out. Bonus reroll for him, which is a bit of a blow, and my chef didn't fire at all, I don't think. Or took 1 maybe. So yeah, not ideal. Right, now, this is what we call a cock-up, in that my tree roots, I don't bother re-rolling it, because I've only got 3 re-rolls, and then I get them both down. And at this point, I think, okay, the tree has rooted, let's take the both down and then stand up later. But in my head, I forgot about the re-rolling. I forgot about the fact that the both down would, of course, cause a turnover, and I hadn't actually done anything else on my turn. So, massive error by me. Just a bit disappointed in my trees, to be honest. So yeah, it all goes slightly pear-shaped at this stage. Obviously, he gets on the line. So all I'm doing now is just trying to consolidate, not worried about making too much progress. I'm just getting the halflings back and just making sure that he doesn't get the ball immediately and score, because otherwise that would be my heart drive, my game over really. Wouldn't be able to score twice, realistically speaking. Bit of a blow, failed to pick up with a reroll. So the ball is loose, and his guys are definitely attacking my guys. Pows and stuns Willow, and then his players are able to come through. Another player off the pitch, another badly hurt halfling, and from a decent position, things have definitely gone wrong, and I've only got myself to blame really. So all I'm doing now, hope to pop the ball away, failed to do that. It would have been good scatter if he'd been powered, but sadly wasn't. And I'm going to try and get the ball, but fail the dodge. Skaven gets the ball. Yeah, and it all goes slightly wrong at this stage. So yeah, he does a bit of whacking. Goes in, and it's not looking at all good. No rerolls left either, so that's a bit of a blow. Yeah, so he chooses to score and gives me a few turns to score back. So in theory, shouldn't be too bad. Just getting, yeah, made the handoff there. But yeah, so this was the important thing, in that I sort of had to get the halfling up there, but if I left the halfling back one, the elf wouldn't have been able to get him so much, so that wasn't ideal, but it was sort of clutching at straws anyway, really. And then failed to do anything useful at the end. There was no exciting, dramatic finish on this one. Yeah, because ideally we would have made that pick up and then dodged out and given the ball, but wasn't to be. So yeah, a 1-0 loss. But the halflings are doing pretty well. It's quite an exciting little season, and yeah, feeling pretty positive for the rest of the games. It's not as disastrous a season as I thought it would be. So that was game 3. And I think I've got Bronn next, but we'll see how that one goes. Okay, tune in next time.